Okay, this is from topic 3 practice set 2 as well. Question 9 of exercise 4b. So let's look at the first question. So we look at the first question here, there are many brackets. So what we do is we want to, remove the brackets one by one. And let's start with the most innermost bracket, right? Okay, so if you have negative 2, there's a bracket 3a minus 4 a. So what I want to do is maybe I'll remove the most inner bracket first, right? So negative 2, that gives me a minus 2. A negative sign towards a positive a, negative times positive, that will give me a minus a. And with that, you can see that I've removed the so-called the semicircle, the curly brackets here. Okay, can the first bracket shaded in gray. So with that, you can see that a minus a, this will just cancel off, it becomes 0. I'll get like a minus 2. And this gives me a negative 2. 3a minus 4. And I still have these brackets here, right? I still have these brackets here. So I mean, let me just put it as square so that you can still see that it's still there from the original question. So of course, the next layer that I want to remove will be the square brackets here, negative 2. So negative 4 and negative 2, negative 4 times negative 2, right? Brackets comes first in BODMAS. We have a positive 8. So this gives me so-called, you can see that this portion here, that's equals to positive 8. And I'm going to write it in the next step very slowly. This is 3a plus 8. Okay, so we are only left with one layer of brackets. I'm also going to remove this as well, because the question says to simplify, and it means that we must remove the brackets if that's to simplify. Negative 2 to positive 3a, that gives us a negative 6a. Negative 2 to positive 8, that gives us a minus 16. And we are done for question 9a. Okay, so the final answer for question 9a is minus 6a minus 16. Okay, so maybe due to space constraint, let me just do 9b at the top. I have 5 bracket 3c minus d minus 2 bracket c plus d square and 3 brackets. So as what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the most inner bracket first. And you can see that I'm going to remove, okay, shaded in gray, this bracket first. Let me just erase away the rest. So for 9b, I'm just going to remove this bracket first. So minus 2 positive c, that gives me a minus 2c, right? Minus 2 positive d, that gives me a minus 2d. So with that, you can see I'm just slowly going to remove the first inner layer, minus 2c, minus 2d. Okay, keeping away the rest of the brackets, I remove the most inner curly brackets here, to negative 2c plus d, minus 2c minus 2d. With that, I'll start to simplify as much as possible. Within the same bracket, I combine the like terms, d minus 2d. So if I combine these two, right, you can see that I end up with so-called d minus 2d. That will give me like a minus d, right? A negative d. So I rewrite my answer, 3c minus, keeping the square brackets. So remember, this 2 is going to give me a minus d. Minus 2c is still there. Don't forget, the minus 2c, the minus sign does not go away. It remains there. So my next move now is to remove. Let me just erase my original 9c so that I have more space. So my next move now is to remove the square brackets. Okay, there's a lot of minus signs, just be careful. If there's a minus sign here outside the bracket, you just treat it as though you are multiplying by negative 1. So this is negative 1 multiplied to negative d. Negative 1 times negative d, this will give me like a positive d, alright? So there's a positive d here. Negative 1 to negative 2c, negative 1 to negative 2c, that gives me like a positive 2c, okay? So keeping my brackets here, this is my next step, okay? So just to reiterate again, I remove the brackets one by one. I remove the brackets one by one. If there's a minus sign, I treat it as though it's a negative 1. Negative and negative, that gives me a positive d. Negative and negative 2c, that gives me a positive 2c, because minus 1 times minus is positive. Okay, now going again, before I bring in my 5, let me try to simplify what I have. So it's always break the bracket, simplify within the bracket, break the bracket, simplify within the bracket. So 3c and 2c, these are my like terms. That gives me overall of 5c. You can see that I have a total of 5 bracket 5c, okay, these two taken away, plus d. Okay, now finally I'm bringing my 5 from outside. 5 times 5, that gives me 25c. 5 times d, that gives me 5d. Okay, so this is all for exercise 4b, question 9. Thank you.